Chandra Talpade Mohanty examines the term colonization, which has become central to feminist and leftist discourse. Historically rooted in Marxist thought as an exploitative economic system, colonization has been redefined by women of color in the US to describe the appropriation of their struggles by dominant white feminist movements. The term now encompasses a range of inequalities, including economic, political, and cultural narratives concerning the Third World. Despite its varying interpretations, colonization consistently signifies domination and suppression of diversity. Mohanty critiques the manner in which some Western feminist writings construct a reductive and monolithic image of the Third World woman. This depiction arises from academic practices that privilege Western feminist perspectives, overshadowing the distinctive experiences of women in different regions. Such portrayals reflect larger power imbalances between Western and non-Western societies. While Western feminism itself is diverse, it frequently positions the West as a central reference point, thereby undermining collaboration with feminists from other races, classes, and geographies. This approach frames specific issues as universal and reduces complex struggles into a single narrative of oppression. Labeled as the Third World difference, this oversimplification disregards the multifaceted lives of women across various cultures, classes, and religions. Mohanty emphasizes that feminist scholarship, like all research, is inherently political. While it seeks to challenge dominant ideologies, it can inadvertently reinforce existing power structures. The tendency to portray woman as a universal category often neglects the lived realities and histories of women in diverse contexts. Some feminist writings colonize differences by constructing a generic image of Third World women, reflecting the West's cultural and political dominance. This critique situates Western feminist scholarship within a global framework of unequal power relations. Mohanty argues that such scholarship often fails to engage with local complexities, instead imposing homogenized frameworks of patriarchy or male dominance. By generalizing the oppression of women, these approaches undermine the specificity and diversity of their lived experiences. Recognizing the role of contemporary imperialism, which extends beyond economic and military control to cultural hegemony, Western feminist scholarship must interrogate its complicity in perpetuating these systems. Mohanty calls for an examination of Western feminism's position within global economic and political structures. She highlights the interconnectedness of First World and Third World economies and how these dynamics influence women's lives. Although Western feminist writings on Third World women often provide valuable insights, their dominance in global knowledge production, publishing, and distribution can have political consequences. Such dominance has sometimes associated Western feminism with imperialist agendas, necessitating a critical evaluation of its strategies and assumptions. The critique identifies three key principles in Western feminist analyses of Third World women, particularly in works such as the Women in the Third World series by Zed Press. These principles, Mohanty argues, often reflect ethnocentric universalism. First, they assume that women form a singular, unified group, irrespective of class, race, or ethnicity. This assumption universalizes concepts like gender and patriarchy, ignoring contextual variations. Second, these writings frequently apply uncritical methods to assert universality. Third, the political assumptions underlying these analyses often reinforce binary power dynamics, portraying Third World women as oppressed and tradition-bound, in contrast to Western women, who are depicted as modern and independent. This reductive binary parallels hierarchical distinctions found in Marxist and development discourses, privileging one group as the standard while relegating others to subordinate roles. Western feminist representations of Third World women often perpetuate such binaries, reinforcing unequal power dynamics. Mohanty delves further into specific themes, critiquing the use of women as a category of analysis. Feminist writings frequently homogenize women, treating them as a predefined group defined by shared oppression. This approach merges the concept of women as a social category with the realities of individual lives, often objectifying them as passive victims of external forces. Mohanty critiques the portrayal of Third World women as a homogeneous group of powerless victims in various contexts, including discussions of male violence, dependency, colonialism, and family systems. For example, in Fran Hosken's analysis of female genital mutilation, women are presented as universally oppressed by male violence, disregarding cultural and historical specificities. Similarly, scholars such as Maria Rosa Cutruffelli generalize African women's experiences, framing them as entirely dependent or subjugated. Such portrayals simplify complex social dynamics and overlook women's agency. Mohanty argues for nuanced analyses that account for the specific conditions shaping gender roles and power relations within distinct cultural contexts. In critiquing kinship systems, Mohanty highlights how they ideologically position women, challenging static representations of patriarchal family structures. For instance, Juliette Mintz's work assumes that all Arab and Muslim women experience oppression uniformly, ignoring variations across class, culture, and history. Mohanty calls for an approach that examines how women's roles and power are shaped by historical and social contexts rather than assuming universal patterns of subordination. Through these critiques, Mohanty underscores the importance of resisting ethnocentric assumptions and engaging with the complexities of women's lives. By questioning the political and ideological frameworks of Western feminist scholarship, she advocates for a more inclusive and context-specific understanding of feminist struggles.